Hello and welcome to episode 49 of our Timberborn Update 7 Folktails Hard Mode playthrough here in cycle 57, day 22. 14.2 days left in our current bad tide. Last time we did some improvements to this area, made this residential, I guess you could say complex, look slightly nicer than what came before it. Cleaned up a little bit of the whatever that this was and fixed a few other things. We've got plenty still to take care of. I am happy to report, though, that this tree farm for our pine trees is perfectly fine. Good to go. No problems whatsoever. And we do have, technically, a completely enclosed castle area. If we're not going to count this corner. So I don't think we're going to be worried too much about that. But I think we're just about at the point where there's not really that much else we can do in this playthrough without just dragging it out. So what I'm planning on is for this episode to be the last one with any sort of actual, I guess you could say, meat to it. We'll do a couple decent projects in this. And then for episode 50 on Thursday, I thought we'd say goodbye with some nice reminiscing about what we've built and some more cinematic quote-unquote stuff with the first-person mod, which is really, really cool. We looked at that last time. But main thing that I want to do is, continue cleaning this area up. I want to hide all of these builders' huts and hauling posts. We can put those underground. Not necessarily, like buried them way deep down, because remember, this is the bottom of the map here. But we could do a little bit of blasting, stick these things underneath, and then cover it on top with some dirt. Try to make it look a little bit natural, and then put some more recreational things. Maybe a little bit more housing in this area too. So the process for doing this is going to take some time, as it always does, and I think I'll be kind to everyone watching this video and time-lapse it, at least a little bit of it, so we don't spend here, another 30 minutes me just clicking and talking over it. So that's what's happening now, and then once that's finished, or at least the demolition and a little bit of the legwork done, then we'll come back and we'll talk about what's next to finish that up, and whatever else we want to take care of. Okay, so what I've done is I've condensed everything in here to this one specific area, and we currently have 17 vacancies. I've got those deprioritized down here at the end, and those are concentrated in the hauling posts. And I know we have a lot of debris on the ground, and there's other things on the map we probably could get rid of to try and get those things put back in the correct spot there. But I think it's going to look a whole lot better when we're finished here. Not have so much just nonsense everywhere. So here's where we're at. These terrain blocks will not go on top of these hauling posts from this height. They can, however, go from this height, which is what we're going to be ending up doing. This is going to get raised up in this spot here, and then these guys, just to demonstrate what is going to be happening here, you put in one of these here. These guys can get covered on that level, so that's what we're going to be working with. We're going to have to do a little bit of, nonsense here, but I think long run it's going to be well worth it. So we're going to need to take out all of these roads here. Well, except this staircase, I do think I will leave that in place. We'll do something with all of that. It does say disconnected, but not for long, folks, because right here is going to be a tremendous opportunity for us to put in a ladder. So that is what I will do. They can still get around with these zip lines if they feel so inclined, but this does need to be popped in place there. I guess I could be kind and just reconnect these so our builders can actually do stuff. I don't have to yell at them for no reason later. But that is what we will be doing here. Get this blocked up with a ladder, and we'll be good to go. I'll pop that in that way. That did not need to go in that spot. And that's going to give them access from this path that we were already using fairly seamlessly. I remember that all of this will be covered up, so it's time for this water to go away. All of this debris will eventually, in theory, get picked up. That is my hope. But then we'll just be able to very very simply completely cover this up right here, make it part of the somewhat natural hillside. Maybe it'll look convenient. Sheesh, I'm tired. Maybe it'll look convincing, maybe not, but you know what? That's fine. That's what we're going to be finding ourselves doing here. And this is a very, very, very long process. I will probably time-lapse some of this, but for the time being, I do like the idea of this being something you guys can see the process for forming it, not just, oh, well, there it goes. You know, hopefully that makes sense. Thank you, autosave lag once again. But that's going to cover it up pretty nicely. We will continue, you know, terraforming this out a little bit, building some other stuff into here, but basically only the hauling posts have to have that level of stuff on top of them. I think it probably is going to make more sense as we are finding ourselves doing this to just go ahead and put our platforms right underneath it here. Also, we have a lot of planks we're not really doing anything with, so I think this is totally fine. Going to be the simplest possible thing for us to do here. Because then, all of this... lag. All of this can be very safely brought over the top just like so. And then this only has to be, like we said earlier, slightly lower. And if we just did a straight line, it's going to look pretty uniform, which I personally prefer, but in this context, it's not going to look the best. So what we will do is go ahead and just put things in the way that they're going to have to go at the minimum, and then... Okay, I'm going to have to come back in and actually connect all of these things. But then after that part, we'll come back in and terraform some of this. Look a little bit better. These guys, of course, will take their sweet time in getting this finished, so we will need to give them access via some stairs. Make that a little bit of a faster process, just to get all of this accomplished cleanly and easily. Now that this is connected there, we probably don't need to have this staircase here. I did put that there because I thought it would be a neat thing to have, but it is going to start causing some problems for us if we don't do this a little bit cleaner here. I'm pretty sure I can get these covered up, and then that's just going to be open. Hopefully that ends up actually working out. We will see what happens. I think if I just do one of these numbers, they should be able to reach just about all of this. Maybe I'll do a couple more. That should be fine. Alright, so they already managed to get stuck. Perfect. 3 of them. Well, I'm going to time-lapse the rest of them trying to build this big old dirt monolith. And then we're going to come back and make it look a little bit nicer. Take care of a couple other things. You know the drill. You've been here before. Alright, so this has been pretty well covered up. There's still a little bit more we can do, but now, doesn't that look a whole lot better? We're going to obviously finish this, but the next thing we need to work on with regard to this is getting these zipline stations a little bit better lined up. I do like the idea of having these two kind of close together. I think this is probably fine, but it probably needs to get raised up maybe 1 block. We can take a look at it later maybe. But the easy thing for us to do to get this to be a little bit more serviceable is going to be to take our connection right here and then turn this zipline pylon into a station. I think that is going to be the simplest, most stress-free way to take care of that. Unfortunately, we have the actual zip lines themselves. You can't hide those. They're just going to have to be where they're going to be. So this is going to be what it's going to be, as we have said. But this whole structure here is no longer necessary. We're not going to end up doing anything with this. So let's go ahead and just get this all cleared out. Very, very simply. Get all that out. if they really want to come grab all the stuff, they can, but I don't think they're going to want to care about it because we have 2,200 planks in storage, so... You know what? I'm just gonna get all of this out of here. Let them take care of what they want to take care of and not waste their time. So that will take care of that. And then we will take this path out. And then I can't really completely enclose this tunnel bit here, but we can start the process. Take a look at our mess here. I think it would look best if we kind of close that in from the side here, which we do have access to thanks to this ladder and this path. They can get into that. And then here, assuming they actually place any of those things, I know they got all sorts of other fun stuff going on, then we'll close up this side as well, and then I will put this station in this spot here at the same level as this. Actually, you know what? No, maybe it does need to be at the one level higher. I did say that we were going to maybe have to raise this. I don't know. There's so much that happens when you build something like this piecemeal, one little bit at a time, over 49 episodes, that it's, unless you have a very, very, very clear idea of what you want to do at the end, when you start at the beginning, it's just not going to work out the way you think it's going to work out. So they are still working on this. They'll get that done hopefully soon-ish. Put these things in, then we will just move this over one block, and everything should be okay. I don't think we need to worry about adding any additional stations or anything. But this would more directly connect all of these hauling posts and builders, whatevers. A little bit easier. Okay, that actually looks pretty good. I will be pretty satisfied with that, and then I'm just going to go ahead and enable this by putting up a couple more pieces of ladder there. This is just about done. Let's say sayonara to that thing. Those guys are going to fall out of the sky, and it's going to be really funny. And then that is connected there. That just has to get built. Should not take very long. Oh, somebody got... Okay. Well, that's what I get for laughing at these guys. This guy's stranded. Do I want to rescue... Do I want to rescue Timberbot 3502? No. But I'm going to do it anyway. Just have them build all that nonsense. This was put in place to facilitate the construction of all this. Does not need to be there. Does not need to be there. Does not need to be there. So they'll take care of that. This is ready to go here. That's gone away. Obviously, this no longer needs to exist. Get that... Nope, that's the wrong one. Get that cleaned up. Man, it's faster for me to just do the shift backspace thing. Instead of doing it the correct way, it just takes longer. Well, anyway, so that is looking okay there. I'm going to simplify this path to go there. Take this out here. And once we're pretty sure we're not going to need to go up here, then this path can also go away. And I think I'm going to have to check distances, but I'm pretty sure I could justify rotating this 90 degrees and moving this one more block this way to clean up this path here. I am not, however, sure that the lines will accommodate me. So this is 43,127. This right now is 43,98. And this is 97. So, in theory, I can rotate this exactly once. And this will be closer to here. And this one's going to get, reworked anyway. So, I think we can pretty safely go ahead and do this. These do have, not convenient, but they do have spare connections. Really hoping we don't strand any beavers or bots of doing this, but, there's not really any other way to go about doing it, so. Yep. That solves that. Oh, you absolute buffoons. Okay. Alright. Alright, I hear you. I hear you. It's frustrating, I know, but think about things here. Think about the consequences of your choices. Ah, what? What do you mean that's too far? I did the math and it was okay. So, now what this has caused me to have to do is put this on this other side here, which is going to cause, ooh, some really close calls. But it's 28 meters. And then this one here, again, this is going to get reworked. Oh, you absolute... Okay. Well, no time like the present. That's done, that's done, that's done, that's done. Okay. So I probably just have to rotate it to this other side here. And I did say I wanted to fix this. I wanted to make it look a little bit nicer, so... Who am I to complain about something that I previously asked for? That is just rude. So I think this is going to be... Yeah, okay, so it would have been in range here anyway. Okay, so if I put that there, it's going to connect here, but I think... So it's dangerous when you get to thinking here. You might learn something. This, I think, right here is probably going to make more sense because this connects directly to this, and then this can also get connected over the top of our district center, and I think that would be fine. This will also be more in line with some of the more recreational type things we're going to want to do over here. I think it's going to be okay. So we'll let them get to what they got to get to. It might take the bots a while to do it, but we don't really care because, well, we're just out here trying to do the best we can with what we got. I wonder if they can't reach this. Okay, I got to do something about those two things. We will see, I suppose. So this is waiting because it doesn't have access to this. Let's peel this back. Okay, I'm pretty sure if I get a platform here, they'll be able to build that, which means they can build that, and then that means they can build that. So we'll check back on that in a little bit. This guy has been rescued. I guess there is a reason to have a ladder up to the Badwater Dome, so you know what? We will enshrine that as something that needs to be there. I clicked the wrong path. Good job. This is connected. This is connected. This is looking a whole lot better. I have no complaints. Now this here, connecting to here, I guess is fine. That's a relic of our past persuasions. Now I have to think about... We have 420 wheat flour. Really, that's convenient. Where am I going to put other storage for wheat flour? Because we don't really have very much of the raw materials. I mean, everything's slam full on this. I don't think that's going to need to be something we're going to be concerned about, but I am just very curious. I think what I'm going to... I think what I'm going to do... I really probably should edit these things when I say stupid stuff like that, but I don't want to, so I'm not going to. What I'm going to do is change that into a ladder so this can clean up a little bit better. And we do need to... Well, we don't need to. We have the opportunity to fill this in and just make this look slightly less ridiculous. We're going to need to have some fill in the middle here. I got to peel this back. Got to peel this back. All right. They can build a decent portion of that. It has a reach of... I guess I'll just do that and see what I have to work with here. I will just put, say, right about here, one of those pillars in. Get that filled in. That will take care of that, and then from the top here, I can actually do one of those numbers, then I can do one of these numbers, get this to make a little bit more sense. I'm sure someone's going to get stuck doing that, and I'm probably going to complain, but that's just how that goes. And that, I think, once this is taken care of with the help of a ladder here, I can get rid of all of this. And then this will be, connected in with some of our other stuff here. We're going to invent some reason for that to get connected there. All in due time. And it does just take time, as we have stated previously many times. That's what we have to work with. That's what we're going to do. So, part of the fun with this is going to be seeing how they can actually, construct this, because You and I both know I have a terrible time with the arrows on the terrain blocks. I'm sure you probably think I'm an absolute moron, and you're probably at least partially correct, but my brain's not going to do what it doesn't want to do, and at this point I am too old to fix that, so we're just going to move on. I do think... Yeah, this is connected now. I'm going to go ahead and get this taken out here. That's going to allow me to take that out, and then come in here with some dirt. And then all of this can be very conveniently connected. Just like so. That's helping things out there. We're almost into the temperate cycle, which is very good to see. Once again, we have not run out of water, so I am feeling pretty good about that. I think what I'd like to do, not to the same degree that this is necessarily, but in this area would like to put a little bit more recreation. Continue putting in more housing, like we said. Got a bunch of different options. And, of course, the Earth Recultivator is going to be in range of any new housing I build here. Not any of this stuff, but, you know, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal because more than half the beavers still, a whole cycle later, more or less, have a +6 boost. So I think we're doing okay. Could probably put another detailer or two in. And, of course, Torii gates. But everything else is looking really good. Really, really good. We have not run out of water here, which is fantastic. I was kind of worried about that. But everything is, you know, looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. I think I'm going to have to give them a staircase here just so they can keep building all of this. Our dirt situation I was a little concerned about because we started running out of stuff here. And I know I have these two paused, but, you know, every 2 hours getting 6 pieces of dirt, that's fine. I don't think we're going to have any problems. Should be a-okay. So now that we're working on that, we do need to gradually blend this in terrain-wise. And based on how this is looking here, I'm going to feel pretty comfortable, I believe, just filling this in completely like this. Just blanket popping down a whole bunch of terrain. And then at that point, once all of that is done, then we can try sculpting things. Or I could just say, you know what? I'm going to do it now anyway. Because why not? Why not? We're just trying to do our best here. Give ourselves a little bit of a curve here. It's going to be kind of hard, but anything is possible, right? What was that, Kevin Garnett? Super long time ago. Oh boy, I digress. This is going to get sealed up here. Again, please forgive my my terraforming. I know it is ugly. There are many people who are better at this game than I do. Than I am. Wow, I need to take like a month off and just sleep. I think is what's going to happen after this. But all joking aside, we'll go ahead and just maybe do a little bit more here. Get this popped in. Fill this in to the same height. Should be okay. We've got pretty good access with other pathing and stuff to get beavers in and around this area. But I will give them a little bit more help here. Give them a staircase here, and then give them one of these so they can have access to all that. So, I bet you can't guess what time it is now. That's right, it's time-lapse once again for more terraforming. I'll keep adding some stuff during this, because, again, I really don't want to take up too much of your time with the whole process of, we gotta wait for the beavers to put the dirt blocks in. Like, no, nobody has time for that. Not at episode 49. We all know why we're here. We want to see this thing end in a satisfying manner, and, you know, not spend 3 hours doing it. So, now is the time to come out of the time-lapse and talk about what we are actually going to place here, finally. I don't know how long this is going to be in the actual video because, well, I have to go and edit it and do the time-lapse stuff, but hopefully we haven't been sitting here for 45 minutes yet. Okay, so now you can see we have more or less minus this bit here. Completely covered up our crimes underground. This is, you know, looking somewhat natural. I'm pretty happy with this. Not so much with this, but, you know, once we get rid of all of the pathing, I think it's going to look a lot better. Yeah, okay, let's go ahead and get rid of that. This obviously does not need to be connected here. Same old song and dance with that. But that, friends, again, we're going to fix this. But this is looking a lot more compelling, and I think we can be pretty happy with all of that. So let's, you know, actually connect this station. I just realized we hadn't done that. And now that this is fully taken care of up here, we can also remove all of this. And we can remove all of that. And we can remove all of that. And we can remove all of that. And if I click and drag correctly, it's going to let me do this. There we go. And, you know, this also right here does not need to exist. This bad water can and will be removed. Let's grab all of these paths out of here. Make this look a little bit less stupid. Just a touch. Oh, that actually was connecting everything. Guess what? I no longer care. Now it's disappeared. Disappeared. There you go. Disappeared. Alright. That is gone as well. This is also gone. Now we have these two things connected here as a transfer point like they were always meant to be. This can be removed. This staircase that I originally put in as a way to, you know, access stuff no longer needed, so that could be removed as well. And now, because we have this ladder here, I can come in here and I can finally close in all of this. They can do this from above or below. Doesn't really matter, but I am going to try my best to get this filled in a way that will not look completely terrible. And just kind of generally keep the shape of the hillside here best as I can. Let's grab that out of there. Thank you, autosave. I think I can live with that, but I will go ahead and just get this rounded out a little bit more. They're not going to be able to reach all of this super conveniently, but I think if we do it in chunks, it should be okay. They should be able to reach most of this. Yeah, this is just so much better, folks. It's so much better. So now, the next question is, what do we put here? And we've discussed at length many different times about the things that we need to put in. Detailers comes to mind first. I have two of those here. We probably should have some over in the areas where the other complexes are. And I don't really know of a lot of great spots here, unfortunately. But I figured, you know what? Here and here probably is not that bad of a choice. Obviously, we've got the two designs that we are allowed to choose from there. And then, for the sake of our beaver's convenience, I will go ahead and... Oh, I'll click incorrectly is what I'll do. I'll just pop these right there, because that works. Why not? Just pop that in there. Then, of course, underneath all of this, we do have our fluid dump that is keeping this irrigated and looking pretty good. So, obviously, wow, with the great metal Torii gates here, we have, I believe... Actually, we can just click on one of these beavers and find out. Which boosts do you have? Okay, you do have all of them, because I was curious if I had somehow forgotten to put some over here. But detailer you don't have. That's about to be fixed. All the rest of this does indicate that you seem to be getting everything you need, so that is fine. Let's randomly click another beaver here. You're swimming. And once again, oh, okay, Earth Recultivator is the one that they don't have. That's, that one's a little trickier, because that is a building that does take a long time to build. However, comma, we do have all of the materials to build another one. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, I kind of want to do it. I kind of want to do it. This isn't like a perfect spot to put it, but I think we can make it work. I think we can make it work. If I just set this back in a little bit, I'm going to have to remove 3. That's probably too much. If I put this back here, then I think I can make it work. Why am I starting such a tremendously huge construction project at the very end of a playthrough? Your guess is as good as mine. But remember, I don't want to do stuff halfway. We've been having such a good time with this playthrough, I don't want it to end in a stupid nonsense fashion. I want it to be something we could be proud of and look back and say, you know what? That was a really fun time. I'm glad we took the extra effort to get this done, quote-unquote, the right way. So, that is what I will do. I will go ahead and put up... Well, I guess these are going to be temporary anyway, so... Put up some ladders here, get this connected to the path system. We already have a ladder here. Obviously, this will be replaced with something a little bit better. But we'll get them to work on that, and then, of course, you already know we're going to have, like, a whole bunch more time lapses. I don't know how long it's going to take me to record all this, but we're not going to give up. We're going to do things right. This is where I kind of have a little bit of a problem with what I'm going to do with this. I don't know. You guys asked for this to be, you know, a little bit fancier, look a little bit nicer. I really don't know what to do with this. I truly don't. I kind of don't have any ideas. Sorry to say, but I can tell you what we will do at the very least is try to kind of close this gap as best we can. Obviously, I cannot have this go perfectly up on top of this because, well, that's not how it works. But what I can do is I can have this entire upper thing at least line up in a way that's going to allow me to put more... What's that called? Wood? Yeah, there you go. Put more wood on all of this stuff. So... that is what this is going to end up being. We'll just let them, you know, take care of putting a bunch of this stuff in. I don't need this corner piece, I can tell you that right now. But just little projects here and there to get stuff taken care of. I do not think this is going to be a tremendously fast process, but again, we have all the time in the world if we just hit that time-lapse button. Not that I'm going to do that right now. Anyway, so while they're working on that, I did want to build a little bit more in the way of housing over here. We obviously have plenty of space up here to put in some more decoration and all that whatnot. Mud pits are tremendously good things for us to be building. In fact, I can put one right there, and I feel like that would fit pretty nicely. We do have one up here, but, you know, just spacing some other decorations and various fun things out is never a bad choice. I would love to put some more carousels in, but then you run into the problem of power, and, you know, windmills are not infallible. We realistically should have everything completely connected to the grid here, and this is what happens when you do that with the Folktails. It's one of the reasons I really like the Iron Teeth, is you can just plop an engine down. As much as I complain about engines and how I don't like how they look, they are convenient. They're very convenient. And they also have the beard wheel, the wheel of suffering, whatever you want to call it. So, you know, I just... I don't have ideas on how to power a carousel, and that's why I'm not putting another one over there. This takes 400 HP. I could just do, you know, the wheels and the little ones and just have 8 beavers running on those. But yeah, what's the fun in that? You know, it just seems like one of those things you're like, all right, we don't need to be doing this. We really don't. But such is life. That is the way things go. One thing we can do, and I think would be a worthwhile expenditure of our time, is we can put in a little bit of a irrigation thing here. And that, I think, is going to be a good use of some time and other resources. Let's just pop that right there. Put a staircase in place. Get that hooked up with the path. And yes, friends, at long last, the shower will be replaced. Shower lovers rejoice. I'm very glad we were able to get that to work, but yeah, I'm not going to put a bunch of tunnels in to have all these other things irrigated. The dump is fine. It's going to be okay. We don't need to worry about it. This will just keep things irrigated nicely. And if we really want to have some squeaky clean beavers, all we've got to do is just come over here and make some showers. Very, very simply pop in with a staircase and all of this, and we can maybe do a little bit of decorating along the way too with the aid of some roofing structures, and then maybe a couple of fun decorations. Like, okay, the shrubs on top of that looks a little ridiculous, not gonna lie. But what if... Oh, there's no way that actually works. Okay, that seems... Okay, that's a little bit better. Is that the correct use of that? No, it's not. But it's going to look cool, and it's going to give them some nice benefits. So we will be perfectly fine with that. I do realize this looks a little stupid. However, there are other things we can do in this area. Let's also not forget, I did say something about we needed to have an agora over here. So, okay, maybe that's a little bit too close proximity. I was going to say I could put a ladder here and then, yeah, no. But one of these things in a convenient place like, say, right here would probably work nicely and also give us a reason to have a crossroads there. That's an improvement. We could have some contemplation stations in various locations as well if we felt so inclined. I don't think it's such a bad idea. No, that's the wrong button. I was meaning to push R, not E. Q goes the other way, in case you were curious. But contemplation spots with... I can't do that. I forgot. Well, that's fine. We're going to be okay anyway. We'll just put those things there. And then take another look at how we're looking with our well-being. Yeah, we're pegged on this stuff. That's looking good. Contemplation spots, again, needed some improvement. That's why I'm doing that. We're going to put some... I used my thumb to point behind me, but you can't see that, so we're going to put some over on that side of the map. And ordinary ones, that's going to help with that. And, yeah, the rest of this is just the awe with the monuments and, of course, the earth recultivator. So we need to decide before we put any of these farmer monuments or the bonding thing, we have to decide what else we're building here in the way of housing. So this guy right here, if we were to put him in this exact location, would hit all of the rest of these guys. But I don't really think that's a tremendously good spot for it. So I've always been really curious. Like, I know I can't build directly on top of the frog here, but if I had planned this slightly better, I probably could have built a platform up there. I'm going to go ahead and say that for the sake of us actually having the ability to, you know, touch everything here, and this doesn't touch this one, but the beavers are still going to have to walk through here. I think it's going to be fine. We got that farmer monument there, and then we've got our bonding moment thing here. Actually does touch all of that. I think it's fine. Again, it's not the most beautiful thing you've ever seen, but it's there, and it works, and we can probably mostly be okay with that. So, taking a look over here, we do need to put in some contemplation spots, so the spots can be contemplated. And I don't really have a lot of great places to stick one of these. But at the end of this thing, next to the frog statues, probably could be worse places. Okay, we'll have to deal with that in a moment. And then I really wish I could go in the corners of these things here, but for now, we will have to settle for right outside the frog statues once again. Now, friends, time for B for Boom. And you already know we've made it super easy for ourselves by just sticking that in there. And then once this is taken care of, then we can pop in an Earth Recultivator 2.0. And this one will actually reach all the rest of the beavers, or at least enough of them for it to be, you know, worth talking about. That is looking pretty okay. But you might be saying, what about all of this stuff? And yes, I have not forgotten, or I guess I should say no, I have not forgotten. We have to do something over here. And the best, unfortunately, I can think of is to just, you know, do this same kind of mess we're doing over there. That's one of those things that is, you know, just going to be the way it's going to be. It's not going to be particularly glamorous. But, you know, you just got to do it. It's not necessarily a dirty job, though. This cannot be reached. Let's fix that problem. Is that show even still on? Dirty jobs? Who knows? Okay, no, this is stupid. I'm just going to put in 3 of these things here. That's totally fine. We know this can be removed, and I can beaver boom this, and we'll just wait for that to be a thing. We will get there, friends. We will absolutely get there. So, you know how this goes. I just have to come over here and put this stuff back in one little piece at a time. I do still want to put some more housing over here. I think probably our best bet for additional stuff, I maybe would like to get up to about 300 beavers, is to use a careful mix, again, keeping in range of these things, use a careful mix of these single levels that maybe have some interesting layouts we could work with, and then use some double levels on the outside of this stuff, but I honestly kind of don't want to mess with all that. Also, like, who wants this busy thoroughfare right outside their front door? I know, like, people don't always have a choice in that matter, but maybe the beavers deserve something nicer. Okay, berries there. I never figured out what to do with the wheat flour. That's another one of those things. I wanted to put some more storage here. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm not going to worry about it. We got better things to do with our lives than sit here and postulate about why we can or cannot do X, Y, Z, when in fact we can just, quote-unquote, shut up and do it. So, 3 more of these things. Do we need the water? No. Do I want to build more? Yes. So, there you go. 3 more of those things will get taken care of there quite nicely. The wheat flour issue is not really a problem because these are all full. Chestnuts, however, we've somehow... Well, somebody got rid of all the trees here. That's probably what happened. But somehow we have neglected to re-add the tapper's shack up here. And this has just been the forester this entire time. Despite that, we have pine resin. And despite that, we have maple syrup. So, I don't know. I don't know what happened. I really don't. But this gatherer flag, I've been working on chestnuts this entire time. I'm going to, I know, look, it might not matter. It might not matter in the grand scheme of things, but it matters to me. At least a tiny bit. So, yes, I'm going to cut down some maple trees. After all that, I know. But I can cut those down, and then I can replant them as chestnuts as a way of atoning for my sins here. Be ridiculous. But you can hopefully get the idea of what I'm working with here. I guess, see, I really don't want to do this in a stupid way, but there's also probably not that many more ways to do it. So if I just have those meet in the corner like that, I guess this is fine. I guess it's okay. We'll do a little bit of a little decorating like that. It's fine. Now we have housing for 252 beavers. I know it's not 300, but there's still some other places we can build stuff. I really do want to keep within the range of these monuments if I can. I'm not opposed to building another farmer monument, but you know how this goes. You know how this goes. We've got opportunities. We have ways to solve problems that may or may not make any sense, but that's what we can do. So, I guess, yeah, I'm just going to blow up this land here, and I'll put a couple of these double and triple lodges in. That seems like that would make the most sense for what we're working with. Assuming, you know, the bots aren't already busy doing other stuff. It looks like this is going to be finished right about now, and beaver boom. Put a triple on that side and put a double on that side, and then, of course, up on the top, we can pop this, and then one of these guys. I missed the modular roofing mod. I know there were some weird things with that when it came to the code rewrites or whatever. I'm pretty sure is what that was, why that does not exist, but I thought that looked really smart, and that's, you know, it's an improvement. Gets us up to 267. Just little bits and pieces here and there. Other improvements, of course, Okay, that chanting is taking me out. I gotta move on. Just real simple stuff, like putting these guys in. Just makes that much little bit of a difference. Just makes stuff look really nice. So let's come back over here. We are ready for booming again. Please allow me to click. Thank you. And now, friends, let's pop in that earth recultivator. Did I seriously miscount this again? I just absolutely did. Okay. Well, it's actually not that big of a deal. So now all I have to do... Okay, that's gone. All I've got to do is come in here, place this thing. There we go. And then do one of these numbers, and then this. Okay, this needs to be a ladder there, which means that needs to be there, which means that. Okay, I didn't need to delete that one. That was a bad choice. I was just trying to spread these out a little bit, but I guess it's fine. I guess it's okay. We'll be alright. So at the very least, that's taken care of. I know this is ugly, but we're going to deal with it. We're going to get over it. Yeah, I feel like there's a couple more things we could do with this. If I put in... Yeah, you know what? I actually don't hate this. I do not hate it. I don't really love it, but... Okay, that looks a little bit more believable there. This would be a great place to put in a staircase. And then get that popped in there. Yeah, okay. Okay. That's a big improvement to make this look a little bit more intentional of a community. You know what this is begging for right here, but I really don't think I could justify? Another frog statue. But there's other stuff we can pop in. 2x2 is kind of a challenging size, but this would be probably a good place for a bulletin pole. So I will pop that there. And then as far as Torii gates are concerned, this area is pretty well covered with the ordinary ones. But we could probably put another treated one somewhere. Maybe right about here would be okay. That's looking good. Of course, these are still well within the confines of the Great Wooden Gate, so that will be okay. Things looking good. We've cut down most of these trees. Did I not mark those? I did. Okay. Now I have to unmark for cutting all of the rest of those. And we will replant the chestnuts. And all will be right in the world. Well, after it's really, you know, time for us to continue caring about it. That's the way it goes. Go ahead and pop that in there. Now the lumberjack flag can be paused. And as soon as these trees are planted, then I can put in the tapper shack once again. I mean, we do still have these two, but honestly, we need to have the third. So we'll come back to that in a moment. How are we looking over here? Okay, we already knew that was going to take a long time, so that's fine. I do need to... Here we go again. I do need to come back over here and continue doing all of this nonsense. That is just the way it goes. I quite like this. I think this is tremendous. Still a few things to finish. And as many ideas as I do keep having come to mind, like at some point we're going to have to just say, you know what? We had fun. It's time to move on. But I just want to make sure we haven't forgotten anything that I took notes on here. The only thing I haven't been able to do really is the earth recultivator stairs getting fixed. There's a couple supply chain problems that I think would be pretty simple to solve if I were able to just remember how to do stuff. Not the most glamorous answer here, but we do have plenty of punch cards. I am going to revert one of these back to making books. As the book numbers are dipping, it's not that big of a deal. But, I mean, everything else has more or less stabilized. I know some of you wanted me to cover this up. I just don't think that's worthwhile expenditure of our time. Okay, this is ready to go. take that out to put a tapper shack in place. That should solve a lot of... I know we still have 2 here as well. It's like, but I know this had to get fixed, or it would have bugged me forever. Now, friends, it is going to be time for us to time-lapse the construction of the second Earth repopulator. And along with that, I'm going to go ahead and do our end-of-episode stuff. Like, I know there's probably a lot more that some of you guys wanted to see with this, but again, at some point, I do have to say, all right, enough's enough. We're going to move on with the happy memories we made with this. I really love this playthrough, and I honestly, personally, could probably keep playing it for a lot longer, but there is a finite lifespan for some of these series, and I know a lot of you are clamoring for faster and better progress in the other playthroughs, so unfortunately, putting this to bed is probably the only real way to accomplish that. But I do really appreciate the support you guys have given me over this whole series, and given me lots of great ideas, lots of helpful tips, lots of calling me out when stuff goes poorly, and I've done my best to fix it. Hopefully you can appreciate that. And yeah, I have, at this point, almost no regrets with this playthrough. There's still a couple tiny things I am going to fix. But next episode, again, is going to be the last one, where we'll do a little bit of a tour. Maybe if you can think of any small things that need to get taken care of, we'll take care of those. But yeah, that's well and truly going to be it. I cannot, of course, end this video without thanking the Beard Boosters and everyone who supported me, whether it is just watching the videos or being a part of that group that does directly contribute to the upkeep of the channel and making sure that I can, spend so much time playing video games online with people, which I'm very thankful for. Of course, it means we have no sponsors, unless, the people who make the games actually want to say, hey, we're going to sponsor a video. Like, okay, cool. But I don't want to sell you frozen food. I don't want to sell you bad therapy online. I don't want to sell you VPNs or whatever. I want to have fun playing the game. So that's what you guys have enabled me to do, and I am just eternally thankful for that. So, all that being said, by the time that I'm finished yapping here, you will have seen all the names, and they will have finished the Earth repopulator. It will have been a very long time in game, but maybe those chestnut trees have grown up by now. Who knows? We'll just have to see what's on the other side. All right, and they finally finished this, and it is fully stocked with extracted paper, which means, yes, friends, we will watch it go off, but I've got an idea based on what you guys said in the comments that I thought would be really cool. We are going to set this off and then go into first-person mode and watch it go up against the beaver's night sky here. So I think we'll go ahead and hit pause, hit launch. So that's going to set it off, and then we are going to find ourselves a good vantage point. And I think it would be fun just to see what it would look like from maybe this corner here as those things go up into the sky. And that's how we're going to leave today's episode. So you can see it kind of unfolding. We should see those things bathed against a brilliant lightscape. What a fantastic sight. I'm so glad we chose to do this. Take care, friends. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.